This is of the original, the best, the only version that matters. Roadhouse from 1989. Yeah, we're not doing the remake of that direct-to-video sequel, the original classic from 1989. An hour and 54 minutes, so let's do this, because it's almost 2 hours, so we get through this and I, could move on with my day. I've never seen this movie when I was a kid because I was only 4 when it came out. I was too young to see it in the theaters. And then on VHS, I couldn't either. But now I'm an adult, so. This did not need a remake, because, stop remaking Patrick Swayze's movies. They're never going to be as good. This and Point Break and Dirty Dancing, when you try to remake it, it's just not as good. There's a reason these movies were a product of their time. Swayze was like the southern version of Kurt Russell, and you can't top him. Sorry. Yep, the female body. At least you tried, Josh, to do a podcast yesterday. At least you tried. I can't blame a guy for trying. At least, these technical issues, I had them too in the past. Because they're like, oh, you just love the original because it's the original. Yeah, and it's the superior version. While this movie's not perfect, it's still better than the remake. The remake is just like an MMA fighting movie instead of a bar, brawl movie. It's like remaking Cocktail and it's a musical. No, just leave it in the past. Keith David. Gazungas. Yep, it's that kind of movie, guys, the original. Because in the 80s, they don't care if they offended people or not. This is not a movie for kids. Sam Elliott, and we still got him. Him and Keith David are still alive. And so is Kevin Nash as well. Yeah, there he is. Rest in peace, Patrick Swayze. We miss you, man. Cancer took him away too soon, man. This movie proved that he was bankable. And a good actor, too. Heterosexual guy, good morning. Hollywood should just leave this movie alone and not remake it. They did remake it, and it sucked. It had Jake Gyllenhaal, who looks nothing like Patrick Swayze, and it had some Irish MMA fighter who can't act in it. At least in this movie, people can act. Because they're actors, they're not like musicians or wrestlers or MMA fighters who can't act. Some people can act and some people can't. It's just the way it is. Just because it was from the 80s doesn't mean the movie is unwatchable. No. There's a reason the 80s were a product of their time. Every movie from 1980 to 1989. Michael Kamen, I just heard his music in Frequency, and yesterday I heard the commentary for that. But I'm not doing a commentary for that movie. It's a bit slow. And I like this cast in this movie a bit more. This film still holds up. There's no reason they had to remake it or give a direct-to-video sequel that no one asked for. This should have been self-contained. Just like the original Point Break. Or the original Running Man. I know they're doing a more faithful adaptation, but is it going to be better than the Schwarzenegger movie? We'll see. Because a lot of his movies have been remade and poorly. Look at Total Recall. That was not a better remake. Remakes are rarely better than the original. Rarely. I like Little Shop's remake, but that was years ago. It's not like that Little Shop remake came out last year. It was in the 80s. The original was a 60s campy movie that had a very low budget. And the remake is a musical. At least it's different. But when you remake the same movie and do it poor, no one asked for that. I mean, look at all the remakes that came out last year. You had Roadhouse, and you had Mean Girls, and you had Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Why are you remaking these movies from the past? If you're not going to do it better, don't do it at all. It's like remaking The Mask. How you're going to do it better? Oh, make it faithful to the comics. Okay, that's something different. But if you just make the Jim Carrey movie again, it's going to suck. It is. It's got to be in the vein of the comics where he's really violent as a psychopath. That would work, like Deadpool. But if you make the same movie, no one wants to see that. That's why Son of the Mask failed, because it was a watered-down version. Also, if you want to get this movie, this is the way to get it. Because it's got special features that are really good. It got a commentary by the director and also a fan commentary by Kevin Smith, who, yeah, he rarely does commentaries for other people's movies. He mostly does his own films, but it was fun. Smith says this movie was good, and that it is. It holds up. You don't need to remake it. The next thing you know, they're going to remake Ghost and make it woke. No, just leave it alone. Swayze was an actor that we don't need his movies to be redone and done poorly. Because you can't recapture that. This is why Star Wars didn't work when they remade it with the sequel trilogy instead of doing their own thing and making it better. But whatever. I don't think they should make a darker version because the psychopath nature would be too much for a comic. No, it wouldn't be, Josh, because they could do it on streaming. The Penguin is a very violent show, and they did it, different than the comics, but they embraced the darkness of the DC universe with that, and it's the darkest thing I've seen them do in years. With The Mask, it could be. I just said that if you're gonna do it like that, or make it animated or something, because you can't just take the Jim Carrey movie and do it over again. Because I remember The Mask. I read the comic based on the movie, and it's really violent. It's way more violent than the movie was. Gwenpool, I don't want her to be violent. She could just be. They could make her tone down, but make her like the character, look like the character, act like the character, but don't make her as nuts. You could take liberties, but don't steer away from the character and make them an anti-hero and they're not supposed to be, like Kraven the Hunter. He's a hunter. He's supposed to kill, and yet he's killing people and not animals. Or Spider-Man, yeah, doesn't make any sense. There's taking liberties and then there's completely ignoring the character entirely. Catwoman, Spawn, Kraven, the Venom movies. There's nothing like the characters in the comics. So why are you changing it? Make her tone down like an Adam Eve. Yes, exactly, with a backstory. Shadow the Hedgehog worked. He's a dark character in the games, but they made him they give him a backstory that made him sympathize with him. So he's not as evil as you think. We get why he was so upset. That worked. Obviously, that's why people are still seeing Sonic 3 in the theater. Adam Eve had she was bullied when she was a kid, and she had a rough life with her parents. I get it, and I sympathize with her. They still made her feminine. They made her wear pink. They didn't make her wear pants and say I'm a woman. No, she didn't have to say she was a woman every 2 seconds, like some other female characters I have to see. She's not a girl boss. She's vulnerable. She could be emotional. Again, please stop touching women. You're not Harvey Weinstein, okay? Yeah, this movie, again, product of its time, guys. Back then, if a guy just saw a skirt, they would just touch and grab. Because they think that a woman is like one of those claw machines you see at the movie theaters. Those claw machines where you get a stuffed animal or a toy or something. Yeah. Swayze could just stand there and he was a boss, man. I miss him so much. I won't cry, I promise. This is an action movie. This is not Ghost or Tu Wong Fu or something like that. No. I must say it. Yum, 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 yum. You'll, if you see this movie 10 minutes in, you'll know why. Hello, Blondie. Yeah, that line didn't hold up. Oh, that was Terry Funk. May he rest in peace as well. Yeah, he's a bouncer in this movie in a cameo. Again, I wasn't a big Terry Funk fan like Steve Austin or The Rock or Hulk Hogan, but bouncers are they're like that even to this day. And I don't let people touch me. I don't. And this year, I don't like people touching my face or my body, like grabbing me. I don't like when they do that. When I go to the Barclays Center later this week, I'm not going to let security grab me. If I have things in my pockets, I'll let it out. She's cute. She looks like she looks like what's her name? Not Rhoda Mitchell. What's her name? Um Rashida Jones. She looks like a white Rashida Jones. That's what she looks like, yeah. I know her father passed away. May he rest in peace too. Quincy Jones. So for a great, yeah, for a great Buick. That's clever. Yeah, again, that fat guy, was he in? I think he was in Batman Returns. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, because just because the movie's dark doesn't mean that people don't want to see it. Because the Penguin was very dark and people liked it. Invincible's so dark. Oh my god, he wears this yellow costume and half of it is covered in blood in every season. I'm like, sheesh. Yeah, it's a lot. And even X-Men 97, it was for kids, but it was way darker than I was expecting. And around with every single guy in town. Oh, I love this song. Hey, hey, whoa. I love old music, guys. Whoa, whoa. I love that song so much. Run Around Sue. Oh, hey, hey. The reason I grew up with a lot of old music is because my uncles listened to a lot of old music. From the very start. This girl leave me with a broken heart. I love that song. So, I say, yeah, they cut. Be- yeah, baby. Yeah, the song from Predator. Baby. Yes, and of course, Predators had to remind me of that. Because at the end of the movie, they play that song. I'm like, why? It's a somber ending. This is a cover version. This is not the Little Richard version. Baby. Again, this is in the 80s when men could grab. Do not, Josh, I do not condone this behavior in this movie. Them just grabbing women, I don't condone it. So I like the movie. I don't like some of the things that these men do. I'm okay with Gwenpool wearing pants, but customize them into pink. Yeah, it's just she wears like a unitard, you know, like a one piece bathing suit. I know Marvel's gonna be like, we can't make bisexual. I'm like, yeah, but again, there are characters in the comics that wear tight pants. I mean, look at Gamora in Guardians. People try to touch me either. No, I don't let people touch me. Because last year, two dentists were screwing with my mouth, and it was painful. That's why it took so long to get my tooth out. It should have taken 20 minutes, not an hour and 20 minutes. But again, they were gay. What do you expect? They want to get right up in there. Not going to happen this year. They're not touching my face. Man, they must really hate the Predator movie. And this was 2 years after Predator. And a year before Predator 2. The fights in this movie are pretty cool. There's mostly bar fights, and then in the second half, you got the brawls outside. It's not a run and gun movie like a Mission Impossible or Lethal Weapon or something. Yeah. She does look like Rashida Jones, just white. It's like the barroom brawl scene in the Sonic movie. But that was way less violent because it was a PG movie. They said, "Oh, this is campy." Well, it's entertaining. That's why this movie works, because you try to recreate it and it's just watered down. Man, that's the good makeup effects. Oh, babe. I think this guy's like he's high. I don't think he's acting. Yep, he deserves that. And Patrick Swayze's it doesn't phase him. I mean, I consented to get my tooth taken out, but not the way they did it. They were like yanking and pulling and sawing me. It was horrible. It's an experience I never want to go through again. When they have to clean my teeth, it's not going to take that long, and they're not going to yank anything. It's just zzz, that's it. I notice a lot of these women are blonde, the ones that they keep touching and groping. Again, that's why you can't remake this movie, because if you have a bunch of guys in the Jake Gyllenhaal version grabbing women, I'm like, you can't do that now because of the SJWs and feminists and Me Too movement, where you can't touch women just out of nowhere. I remember those TVs. And this film is so 80s. I just got up, guys, so if you see me tired, it's not my fault. I have to do this now because I have to kill an hour and change. Marvel and DC does have girls who are sexy, but they obviously have to make changes to some sexy outfits or it'll be bearable. Yeah, but in Watchmen, they showed the suit. See, if you did it like that, it would work. No one was complaining that Malin Anchorman or even this girl in X-Men Apocalypse, they gave her the suit, the purple suit. Yeah, and it worked. It looks sexy. It's really tight, but again, that's how it is in the comics. Accuracy, guys. Accuracy. Women are sexy. You can't hide that. You can't put them in a potato sack. It's not how it works. Some of them have beautiful bodies, and why hide that? It's a work of art. It's like trying to put a cover on the Mona Lisa or the Venus de Milo. You don't do that. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's trying to censor things from the past. It's just not working. It's not. It's like these Disney movies. Oh, they were racist. Again, you can't erase them like they never happened, guys. Sorry. Santa Claus? No. This is not a Christmas movie. Hold on, I gotta put some cream on my pack. I mean, when Olivia Munn did that movie, she should have known how Bryan Singer is. He's a hands-on director. He's kind of a perv. I mean, he's bisexual too, and I already know that. I mean, he did that. Why you think that they put Famke Janssen in these skimpy outfits in the first two X-Men movies? Well, especially the first two, and then Brett Ratner. He's like, I'm gonna put you in shorts, and you're gonna dry hump Wolverine again. Fought that for that suit, and I love that suit. It wasn't gross. I did say a girl about it to work around on my steam, but didn't go as planned. But say again, you had technical problems, Josh. It happened to me when I did Gamera a few weeks ago, because but that's why I redid it and it worked. I do it on my phone because on my laptop, sometimes my laptop just shuts off. Because again, the Wi-Fi in this building is bad because there's a tree inter- interfering with the laptop. I gotta try because I have to do something today. Horses are nice. This movie's not 2 hours either. That's another reason I don't like when these movies get remade. They make them longer for no reason. Like all these Disney remakes. Like half of them, the original's 80 or 90 minutes, and then the remake is 2 hours. I'm like, why? It's not a Broadway show. Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, freaking the Cinderella remake, the remake of The Little Mermaid. Why are you making it twice as long? You're not telling some epic story. You're just padding it out with songs that we didn't need and giving backstories to characters we don't need and flashbacks. We don't need all that. It's filler. Pinocchio was a little longer than the original, but it wasn't an hour longer. It was like 96 minutes. Or even Pete's Dragon is actually shorter than the original. The original's over 2 hours. So the remake is like an hour and 50 something minutes. That worked. But why was Cruella 2 hours and 10 minutes? It didn't need to be that long. It's a prequel I enjoyed. I know Josh was like, "Oh, Emma Stone is too weird." Again, she doesn't want to be typecast. That's why she won 2 Oscars, because she didn't want to be typecast. Once they typecast you, you're gonna be that person for the rest of your career. That's just how it is with some people. We're 22 minutes in. She fought for that outfit? Yeah, but they have to fight for that outfit. Rogue, I want to see her in the yellow and green outfit from the comics and the animated series. Don't make her wear black and have like one stripe. No, it has to be like in the comics. Southern accent, red hair, full swing. It doesn't hurt to look like the comics. Because now that Deadpool and Wolverine made $1 billion because they had accuracy, that's why. Because people want to see those costumes on the big screen. Oh, it's an adaptation. Yeah, but it has to work. If Deadpool, they changed his outfit, it wouldn't have worked. If they made him like brown or something or orange, it's not Deadpool. He's red. Blood red. Even with the new costume that they made his eyes smaller, he's still red. It's still accurate. And the one when Wolverine put that mask over his face, I lost it in the theater. I'm like, I have waited over 20 years to see that, guys. And it worked. It did. It worked. Sean said it will never happen. That is too silly. It's in the comics. It looks weird. And it happened, and it was a miracle. See? Those can happen, guys. People love the comics and the cartoons and video games and such, and they want to see that representation in the theater or on streaming. Watchmen, yeah, you should see that one, Josh, because then you don't have to stream it on Tubi. Because Tubi has, you know why there was some problems with me too. Sometimes they have some, they crash Tubi because a lot of people are watching free content on there. A dark tone film? No, not a dark tone, because I'm like, Fantastic Four doesn't need to be dark. It didn't work the last time. It's got to be a little bit lighter. Thunderbolts, it can't be Suicide Squad, because if it's violent like the Suicide Squad, people are going to take their kids and walk out. And I wanted to do this movie because I didn't want to read subtitles. I'm going to read some subtitles later, so. Mm-hmm. Exactly. If somebody pulls out a gun or something. That is the guy from Batman Forever. Yeah, I mean Returns. He he was a clown that the Penguin shot. And again, that's a dark movie, and people were like, "Why are you upset that they were selling Happy Meal toys for that movie?" I'll give Emma and Karen this or some girls. They're not typecast. No, they're not. I mean, Karen went from I'm in Doctor Who with my beautiful red hair to being bald in the Guardians film. She committed. If she didn't commit, they would have just given her a ball cap. Cap 4, I can understand why it's dark, but I'm going to see it. I don't care what the critics say. I don't care if this movie bombs critically. I'm seeing it. Nothing is going to be worse than Eternals. A Marvel movie would have to piss me off worse than that and be 2.5 hours. It's Cap 4 is 2 hours and 16 minutes. That's way shorter than Eternals. 2 hours and 16 minutes. That's long, but it's not 2 hours and 35 minutes or 2:42. Because Eternals felt like it would never end. I thought I was in the theater for 3 hours. That's still the worst, because that's why I didn't bother with Craven and Hunter or Venom 3 or whatever, because I knew they sucked. Because Madam Web sucked, but at least it was under 2 hours. There's no doubt. Yeah, look, it's Misty from Pokemon. I swear this blonde chick is looking at him like, she's got that gaze in her eyes. I don't go to bars. I don't want to be around drunk people. If I go to Applebee's, I never go to the bar because I'm like, no, I don't want to wet my whistle. My brain is functioning and I don't want to ruin it with alcohol. Last year I had vanilla extract and it made me sick. Why? Because I can't handle booze. My only issue with doing Watchmen is that the director's cut is a DC. Yeah, it's fine, Josh. People love that movie compared to other Zack Snyder movies. So people aren't ready for it. Yes, they are. Eva Carlton for Rogue. Well, if she can do a southern accent, I wouldn't mind that. I would prefer Madeline Petch because, look how sexy she is. I mean, ah. Again, here it comes. Again. Okay, now, yes. Again. This is why they don't allow weapons at Comic-Con, because if someone pulls out a real weapon, they're going to get arrested. The props that they have to be fake. Because I once went to a convention, a guy was going to bring a bow and arrow. I'm like, yeah, you can't do that, even if it's fake, because you can hurt somebody. Even if the tips are made of wood, it doesn't matter. Weapons are dangerous. He was dressed up as Arrow from, the CW show, and he wanted to bring an actual arrow. I'm like, no, unless you're patrolling the parking lot, you can't. Dalton. Look at that look in her eyes. There it is. Here it comes, 28 minutes in. Is that a diaper? Again, get a room. I know most enjoyed Watchmen. I did, and I saw the theatrical cut in the theater, and I didn't complain about it. The gorgeous visuals. You have Malin Ankerman being all sexy. Great actors in it, like Patrick Wilson and Jeffrey D. Morgan, even though his character's problematic now. And of course, Rorschach, Jackie Earle Haley. That is one of the best performances. That's what Zack Snyder needed to use more of, Jackie Earle Haley. Because he does the Batman voice better than Christian Bale. And his character, while he does die, which I hated because that's in the comics, the graphic novel, his character's it's so magnetic. Like his mask and his voice and that prison scene where it's amazing. His character's so awesome. I can see Eva pulling the accent off. I was considering Madeline for Firestar. Yeah, I want her in a comic book movie because she's just so gorgeous, man. Get her away from the Strangers 2, 3, and 4 and just let her do something of substantial. She did Riverdale, and that was based on a comic. But it wasn't a superhero show. It was, Archie comics, which are way lighter than in the show. The show that they made it into a melodrama. They turn a colorful, kid-friendly comic into a CW melodrama. Like every other adaptation of a comic. The Flash, Supergirl, Arrows, Black Lightning, all of them had to be darker, more serious. And really, Supergirl was not a CW show at first. It was on CBS the first season. I know because I saw it. Yeah, people are going into the pool. Yeah, baby. Whee! Oh, Swayze, man. Instead of remaking a movie that was good, remake something that sucked the first time. Like you know, Dread. It was a better movie than the Judge Dredd movie from the '90s. It couldn't be any worse. But that's what a reboot that worked, even though it didn't make money at the box office because people didn't take their kids to see it because it was R rated. But again, don't take your kids to an R rated movie. It's not meant for them. It's like taking a date to see a Nora. She's gonna think you're a weirdo. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I would rather see that movie by myself because I know what it's about. Madeline needs to work somehow, so she's having to take on something. Yeah, Earl Haley should have been nominated for Watchmen. Yeah, he should have definitely. I don't care if it was a comic book movie. If Heath Ledger could get it for the Joker, and Angela Bassett got it for Black Panther 2, and also yeah, I don't think that was necessary. Also well, who else got an Oscar nomination? Oh yeah, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. Comic book movies are art too. They're just nerdy art. Pat. Yeah, I didn't need to see Swayze's butt cheeks. It's just not necessary. It's like Wolverine in Days of Future Past. You don't need to see him naked. That we get it. That wasn't necessary, and it's in both cuts: the theatrical cut and the road cut. Hold on. Yeah, that line is way too profound now because 20 years later, Patrick Swayze passed away in 2009. I like the soundtrack in this movie. It's fun. Shaboom, 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 shaboom. It's got like a Back to the Future type of soundtrack, but with a really hard edge to it. Keith David comes later in the film because he's the diversity hire here, but he's a good actor. So, shaboom. I think that song was in A Simple Wish. Yeah, I think it was in that movie because I know I've heard that song before. Old music, man, you can't beat it in a movie or a TV show. Double Deuce. Hmm. Shaboom. Yeah, this movie's good, and it didn't need a remake. Like, I bet you the remake sucked, and I don't need to watch it on Amazon Prime to know that, because you can't top this movie in the era it was made in. Pepsi, yeah, product placement. Sometimes it does. Yeah, that is life. And while this movie's long, it's not overly long. Yeah, and this villain, he looks like Belloc from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, he does. Paul Freeman. Yeah, it's not him. I think it's another actor. And this doesn't have any foreigners in it either, which is good because, like I said, I've been trying to keep my nose clean and not see anything with most foreigners in January, mainly because I don't want to hear accents. I really don't. Last year was so painful in January. I had to hear nothing but accents, and I'm like, yeah, I need a break. And I got one. In the past 12 days, I haven't seen one film that had a foreign accent that took me out of the movie, like Eternals or Black Widow, or even recent movies that came out last year, like Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. Why was there a British guy in the movie? You didn't need that. Ghostbusters never had a Brit in the first two films. There are no Brits in the film. It's an American Canadian franchise because it was directed by a Canadian, the first two films, and written by one. So why would you have a Brit in there? You're dumb. Whoever decided to do that was whoever wrote that in the script should be fired. Ivan Reitman would have never put a Brit in one of his films. It's like you can't replace Egon. You can never do that because Harold Ramis was one of a kind. Having McKenna Grace be his granddaughter, that worked for me because she's beautiful and she could pass for an Egon Spengler, which is fine. They give her a lot of screen time and character development. And no, that wasn't a romance because how could you have a romance with a ghost? They're dead. Ghosts can't procreate. People are so dumb. They always say like, "Oh, she's friends with a female ghost. That means she's a lesbian." You're stupid, okay? You people that think these things, your mind is clouded. I'm not like that. I know when it's heterosexual and when it's not. It's like saying Clyde and Lincoln are gay. They're not. They're best friends. It's okay to be friends with somebody that's the same gender and be close to them without it being sexual, guys. Trust me, I know. Some of my best friends are were guys. Hmm. Why does that matter? It's difficult to remake a bad movie. No, it's not, because you can't do it any worse. It will get backlash the second time. Even something like 60 or 65, I can't see a better version. There are better versions, but they're not. They don't involve abducting somebody. Again, when you provoke the bear, you're gonna get clawed. Yeah, that is the actor. He's still alive too. The actor from Batman Returns. He was in Batman Returns and Casper Meets Wendy, and he had a small part in as one of the henchmen in I think that was him in Three Ninjas Hiding in a Mega Mountain. At least he outlived Chris Farley. These fights are good. You bad editing and shaking the camera. You don't need to do that, guys. I'm sure there's probably better versions of some bad movies out there. Yeah, like they're gonna remake the Garbage Pail Kids movie. How could they do it any worse? That first movie from the '80s is horrible. I do have Batman Returns on Blu-ray. Again, Josh, do the movies that you have. Don't try to stream something on a streaming service that could crash. That's why I don't I do these streams on DVD or Blu-ray because I know they're gonna work most of the time. If they skip, that's only because the disc is scratched. Because some of these movies I got used a long time ago. This one I got brand new in Best Buy when they were still selling good movies. Now they don't sell movies anymore. There's Kelly Lynch. She is so beautiful, man. Ooh, that's a nasty cash. It's a good movie. I still enjoy this movie. It's held up really much better in the past 30 something years. As I said, with DC, people are not ready to yet see another one. It's been 5 years since my last DC commentary. Well, I did a bunch of them last year, Josh. Mostly animated, but it counts because I'm going to do more Superman movies because Superman Legacy is coming out in 6 months and I got to see it in the theater. That's a must see for me. Thunderbolts, I could wait till the week after it comes out. I don't have to see it when it comes out in May because I'm not hyped for it. Even if it's good, I'm going to hate Yelena for the whole movie. I'm sorry, I don't give a damn about you. Got it? Arnold Schwarzenegger's a better actor than you, and he's had an accent since he was a kid, since he was young. But he at least is entertaining and charismatic, and his box office is better than you. He has more hits under his belt than you'll ever have. Florence, puke face. She's just not entertaining. She's boring. Even last year. No. That's a line in George of the Jungle. Stitches. Yeah, they gave her glasses. I can't even do a Superman film yet without all the judgment. What judgment, Josh? Nobody's judging you. When I did Superman and Batman, Public Enemies and Apocalypse and all these others, I don't care what other people think when it comes to what I do. What I do a podcast for is my business, not the algorithm. They hate it. Hey, you don't have to watch my channel anymore. Just leave. I got 3 thumbs up for this. I'm like, yeah, because this is the original. If I was doing the remake, it would be a hate commentary because I'm not going to suffer through the remake. Because I saw the remake of Vacation and it was horrible. It was gross, unfunny, and mean-spirited. Nothing like the original 80s film. Because they try to do the same thing but with a meaner script and it just doesn't work. Whoa, a monster truck. 42 minutes in. We're about halfway through the movie. And look, his nose is broken, just like the villain in the Deadpool and Wolverine, which, trust me, he deserves that. When I do a podcast for that, Josh, I am taking no prisoners. I'm going to go full Marvel on your face. Full Marvel. When I do that one, I have to see the digital copy. See, I have the digital copy. I can watch that on my computer. But I'm going to wait. It's almost 10 o'clock. Yeah, I'm just glad I'm doing this early because I could get it out of the way before 11. By 11, it'll probably be done because the movie's an hour and 54 minutes. But if when I get to the end credits, I'll just stop. I do have endurance for pain. I bled from the mouth for days after my surgery. People thought it was just they were getting a bum tooth. No, they yanked that out of my mouth. At least now I don't have to worry about bleeding gums in February, when on Valentine's Day when I go see Cap. I don't have those on DC movies or such. I'll try it again with another stream because I don't see myself giving up doing them. If I ever do Deadpool 3, I would unleash a rage with Girl Deadpool. I'm not even gonna bother with that, Josh. Blake Lively's hard to work with. That's all you need to know. It's just a voice. The girl in the costume, you can't hate on her. That's not Blake Lively. Obviously, that's not her body type. I'm not going to blame her for what you think. You don't like the character, that's fine. She's a cameo. She's not like, oh my God, she ruined the movie for me. No, because even Wiggle Fingers couldn't ruin the movie for me because she dies at the end. She gets what she deserves. If there's one thing that Marvel knows how to do is make Brits suffer. Yeah, look at Paul Bettany. He dies as Jarvis and then he dies as Vision. Twice. Loki, he died in Infinity War. Hemdall, he died in Infinity War. So yeah, Marvel knows how to make them pay because of what they put me through in the last 10 years. You don't know what I went through. Force Awakens, that was an endurance test because I'm like, the opening, this is okay. It's a little different, They're torturing, they're burning a village, even though that's what the stormtroopers did to Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. But once the hobo showed up, it killed the movie for me because she can't act. And she's nothing to look at. Nothing. Just like the girl in Thunderbolts. I don't care about any of them. The guys are going to steal the show in that movie. You got Bucky, you got Red Guardian, and you have the U.S. Agent. Those are better characters than any of the girls. Ghost and Taskmaster. Yeah, no thanks, guys. I'm good. Yep, more titties. Sam Elliott, man. I'm talking about the dude here. If you've seen The Big Lebowski, you know what I'm talking about. Sam Elliott is a boss, man. There's a lot of good actors in this movie. He's really old now, but he's still a boss, man. Yep, they're wetting him right in the face. Lady Deadpool, not Gwenpool or... I don't hate the stunt girl, the costume. She's attractive. You just understand what I go through. I got it, Josh. I know. But even if that wasn't Blake Lively's voice, she doesn't ruin the movie for me. X-23 didn't ruin it for me, and she's a cameo as well. Because Elektra, yeah, a lot of people hated her in Daredevil and in her own movie, but they used her well. One character can ruin a movie for me if it's a side character that doesn't have screen time. If they're the main character, it's gonna bother me, like Bella Swan and the Hobo, and Lily Collins in Mortal Instruments. Those characters ruin the movie for me because they make the Mary Sue characters and uninteresting and not sexy and boring. Women shouldn't be boring. In this movie, some of these women have limited screen time, but they're not boring. They're good eye candy. That's better than nothing. 10:02. Yeah, this movie had a lot of copyrighted music, so I couldn't play this movie with the... Her haircut is cute. I'm not shy. What? And Swayze has the same face for most of the movie. He smiles a little bit, but he's stoic, but it works. That monster truck is awesome in the movie. It's too bad they don't use it to crush cars like they do in other movies or shows. Because this movie has a lot of copyrighted music. So, I'm not shy either, but I'm not, Josh. Double Impact, what character ruined the movie for you? In Double Impact, I don't remember a character that ruined the movie for me. Van Damme plays two characters, but I don't remember who ruined that movie because I'm like, I've seen worse. Eternals, all the characters, that 90% of them ruined it for me. Icarus and freaking Cersei and, what they did to Angelina Jolie. Why would you make her Uninteresting. That was double. That wasn't double impact, Josh. That was double team. Double team, not double impact. Double impact is a Van Damme movie. By with he plays two characters. You said the wrong title. I was like double impact. What? Who was in that movie? I know Rodman's not an actor. I already knew that, but I didn't see it for him. Hello, Kelly Lynch. And again, these fight scenes, I could see them, and they're it's night. They're at night, but they're well lit, and they're not shaking the camera. 50 minutes in. Man, these fights are brutal, man. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Rodman, so it was Double Team, the 1997 movie with him and Van Damme. Even Simon Says it's a terrible movie, but not because Rodman's the lead. It's because Dane Cook is annoying, and it's not funny, and it's just weird. And it was also PG-13, which I think the movie should have been R. That's why Double Team worked for me, because it's weird and it's over the top, but it's R. It's not PG-13. Yes, Double Team, not Double Impact, because I'm like, that's a Van Damme movie. Who's bad in that movie? Ironheart is nearly as bad. No, I don't think she's as bad, Josh. She was an add-on to an overly long Marvel movie. They didn't have Chadwick Boseman, so they had to pad out the running time by 30 minutes with these underwater people and Namor and Ironheart and these side characters like Lake Bell. Why was she in the movie if they were not going to use her? She was the voice of Poison Ivy. Why would you waste her in a Marvel movie? It's like Kristen Ritter when they put her in, not Jessica Jones, when she was in Sonic 3. I'm like, why is she in this movie? She's not interesting. She tried, but she's just there. I wanted her to be sexy or, interesting, and she was not. She was just a henchwoman. That's all. If you're not going to do anything with these characters, don't put them in the freaking movie. Don't. Oh, Kelly, you're a blessing in this movie. Yeah, why was Ironheart's getting her own show? Because they were going to do that character regardless of what if you wanted it or not. I'm going to see it in the summer, but I'm not going to talk about it. Because you didn't see Agatha last year, Josh. Because it's not better than Wanda. I know it wasn't. There were a lot of problems. Trust me, I know. Aubrey Plaza was one of them. The freaking Irish guy, he was the problem. Because they focused too much on him, and I don't care about him. Wanda's kids were better when they were kids. Not make them into gay adults. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, Marvel? Do you have to pander to every demographic? No, you don't. I don't need a gay Iceman in the X-Men. I don't need it. Okay? I don't care if it's in the comics. That comic can suck it. When I read an Iceman comic as a kid, he wasn't gay. That's not necessary. Cater to the audience that it's made for. The comic book nerds that collect these things. Not the rainbow flag people. Sorry. It's not necessary. It's just not. Lake did the first Spider-Verse, yeah, but Lake was in that movie. I'm saying she was in Wakanda Forever for one scene. I'm like, why? Then Kristen can be so over the sexy and Sonic. I know, I get it. Aubrey just lost her husband. I know, Josh. I know. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me these things. I'm not. I can follow. I know what's happening in the thing. It's like about the fires that happened in California. I know what happened. Now Aubrey could be with a woman. You know why? Because she's bisexual. You weirdo. I wouldn't want to be with her either. If I was with a girl like her, I would be like, just pull my catheter and let me meet God officially because I don't want to be with a girl like her. Trust me. I found a girl that's way better. Way better. The only problem is the distance. But let's get back to the movie, shall we? We're almost an hour in. Not everything could be according to what you want it to be. Like Daredevil, I don't need to see the show. I'm going to wait. Because last time I saw him, they put a gay man made his costume. Yeah, that didn't make any sense in She-Hulk. This music is kicking. Ooh, that makeup job looks too convincing. I saw Agatha because Catherine Hahn. What am I supposed to say to that? I'm gonna reject her and her gorgeous nose? No. At least she has talent, unlike freaking Yelena, who is not engaging and she would never get naked because 55 minutes in. It's a long movie, but it goes by a lot quicker than I thought because some movies just drag in the middle. Like the Transformer sequels, they take way too long to get going. Chicago. What is he drinking? V8? JCPenney doesn't even exist anymore. It's barely around anymore. They have some stores left, but very few. Because a lot of these places go out of business because people are shopping online more than in the stores. That's why Party City's going to close in February. I'm going to miss it. It's a great place. I got a lot. I got some costumes there over the years. And hats and things. Actually, kicking people out. I don't know who this is. Remove. There we go. That's not somebody that I know. I don't want anybody in the chat. It's got to be somebody, a subscriber, or somebody that's been watching my videos over the years. I don't want distractions today. It's only the second Sunday in January, and it's not my birthday this time. Last week was my birthday. I had a good birthday. It was at the end that it was ruined for me because, not completely, just that stupid Steam card. I'm never buying a Steam card again. They are not worth it. Here we go. Next scene. See, they cut right to the next scene. They don't have to talk for 5 minutes. Back to the double deuce. It's like the Comic-Con line. This film has even though it was filmed in the 80s, it feels like a 50s movie, just with, more violence and nudity. No one under 21, I know. The singing is really good in the movie, and it's not a musical. And do I prefer this over Footloose, even though it's longer? Yeah, because it got action and doesn't have an annoying female character in it. I can't turn her down. Yeah, I haven't seen Glass Onion, but I want to see it. There's something about her that's really, really, I find very sexy. Not just because in Agatha she showed all of her skin, by the way, because she has a nearly flawless body, and there's something about her that I'm just so drawn to. It could be her face, because look at her. There's Keith David. He comes almost an hour into the movie, so yeah, he comes because he was doing another film. He was doing not The Thing. It was with Haradi Piper. He was doing They Live. So he had a small part here, a smaller part. Keith David was such a great villain in Princess and the Frog. Dr. Fillier or whatever. What was his name? I forgot his name. It's a French name. I did see the clip of Agatha showing skin. Yeah, I was shocked because I saw that with my parents. I'm like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. It didn't really fit, no, because if it was in Deadpool and Wolverine, it would have made more sense. But again, they want to show how awesome of a body that Catherine Hahn has, and I'm like, trust me, I believe you. See, if she can do it and she's not shy about it, then anybody can do it. Who's of age, who's willing to put themselves out there. I mean, it's not a pornographic scene. It's just her walking nude because that happened in Watchmen. And Kelly Lynch is a very quiet character. She's not loud and over the top like Laurie Singer going, ah! Yeah, I was getting sick of that. This is a much better 80s movie, in my opinion. Footloose also got a remake and it didn't nobody asked for. But again, that's just how it is. With some movies, they just want to redo it and try to do it better and they can't. They fail almost every time. It's not every girl wants to show skin. I know, I get it, Josh. That's why Zendaya doesn't do it. Except on the red carpet. Because she has these tight dresses that, complement her body. But in Dune, you don't see anything. Even in Challengers, they just show in shorts. They don't show her nude. Because again, she doesn't want to. She's like, oh, I'm too thin. No. That all understand their bodies? Oh, I do understand. We're an hour and 2 minutes. Almost done. We just got the third act and then I'm home free. At least Swayze doesn't die in this movie like in Ghost. Black Dog is another underrated movie. I think that movie should never be remade. It was a product of its time. So gorgeous, Kelly Lynch. Oh my God. Yep, there it goes. The tension between them has been building up since they were in the hospital. I get it. Procreation, I'm all for that. That's not something you can stop, because that will be the end of civilization. Elizabeth did that. And Karen. If Hera does another movie, they should show some skin. Yeah, again, she's foreign. They usually do show skin. Look at Anna de Armas. And before she did all of these American movies, she was showing skin in anything in a soap opera. I'm like, yeah, because look at her. Look at her. Look at her face. She has a doll's face. Her face is like, I can't believe it. I was like, she has those large friendly eyes and that smile and that beautiful hair. Yeah, she's a beautiful girl. What can I say? Look at Anna Taylor-Joy. I never said this to you, Josh, but she has one of the most lickable faces I've ever seen. Yes, that's weird, I know. But again, look at her face. Look how cute it is. I'm going to say it. I'm not going to be embarrassed to say it. We all have our ticks. And this scene is not gratuitous. It doesn't go on too long, and there's no bondage or anything. It's just two people kissing and, holding each other. I didn't see that in Mr. Magoo. Because that was a PG movie. They didn't show her. They showed her in a skin-tight outfit, and that was it. You didn't say that to me about Anna. Yeah, but I did. Yeah, indeed. Yeah. See, it's not gratuitous. It's part of the plot. Sometimes they put a sex scene in a movie, and I'm like, where does this fit into this plot? Especially in a comedy. Sometimes it just comes out of nowhere. You know, it's like, why? You know, it's not necessary in the movie. It's gonna pad it out. I mean, in Bridesmaids, I get it. You know, that's how they introduce Kristen Wiig. It's a joke, but in some movies, it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that was just spam. I'm not gonna allow spam in this chat after the last decade, when I had to deal with people in the chat were on StreamYard that were weirdos and underage. Because Little Sims, I'm like, yeah, I don't miss him. He's probably like 18 by now, because it's been years since we talked, and that's a good thing. I don't want him to know where I am. He was like, when he was watching my videos, he was like 14. I'm like, why? You're too young to watch my videos. You're a kid. Half of the cast of The Loud House are older than you. Even the young girls, like Annika, she's going to be 17 in February, so she's age of consent. 15 is not. Sorry. Elizabeth. You're 18, but why didn't you just say that in the first place? Also, I'm not going to read foreign languages here either, because this is not a podcast for. This is not a linguist video. This is a live commentary. You guys are going to hear what I have to say with this movie, because I've heard the commentaries in this movie already. It's a good movie, and it's a widescreen. Yeah, see, I don't need this movie in 4K. It looks great the way it is. Sometimes standard widescreen, anamorphic widescreen on the DVD is all I need. I don't need. Look at the resolution. I can see every ab on Patrick Swayze's body. I'm like, no, I don't need to see that. It's fine. I'm fine. When it comes to resolution, it doesn't really matter to me. Just look good and sound good. Don't look like a bootleg. Deuce. Not double douche. This movie's almost as long as Sing 2, except it's not as boring. And the singing is part of the plot. And it's people singing, not talking animals singing. That got old. After Disney did it for years, I'm like, yeah, it's not special anymore. And Masked Singer, where some people dress up as animals and they sing, but most of them can sing. Here we go. It's mostly hand-to-hand combat, so you're not going to get Patrick Swayze on a car using a machine gun. No, that's not the kind of movie that this is. Who knows? Maybe Cyclops and G could have a sexy, yeah, R-rated capacity, not a PG-13. But I'm not sure that would work because of the glasses. No, it could work. I mean, in Watchmen, you had a Night Owl and Silk Spectre too. You're talking to a girl this year. Yeah, I am talking to a girl. It feels good. I have somebody that I can talk to that appreciates my honesty and my affection, and she doesn't run away. She's not overly, stimulated or immature. Exactly. This isn't that kind of movie. Yeah, Sam Elliott's voice, man, an absolute treasure. Why did they waste him in the Hulk movie from 2003? He doesn't do anything in that movie. Thunderbolt Ross was an active character in the Incredible Hulk movie. May William Hurt rest in peace because he pulled that role pretty well. Now we got Harrison Ford, yeah, and he's a good actor, still a good actor. And unlike Indiana Jones, this movie's way shorter and no Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Thank you, Marvel, for not ever casting her because she's not a good actress. Every movie she's in, she sucks. Three strikes and you're out. Solo and Indiana Jones, Out of Destiny, and If all were flops. So keep her away, far, far away. Jasper's Community Hospital. Yeah. Here comes a girl. Yeah, Kelly Lynch is a very simple girl in this movie. She's not a stripper, and she's actually serviceable to the plot. She's not someone they just threw in there like Laurie Singer. Just not a fan of that actress. In Footloose, it made me not want to seek out her other films because I'm just not a fan. And she's not foreign or anything. It's just that she doesn't do it for me. Kelly Lynch did because I first saw her in Mr. Magoo when I was a kid. 72 minutes in. Have you watched The Boys? No, I'm gonna watch it in February because it's extremely violent. Yeah, I saw what Homelander did to that guy. He obliterated his head with his laser vision. I'm like, damn, that's what would happen if Cyclops was evil. I will talk to a girl hopefully this year. Depends on who. I do overthink. I know, Josh. That's why you don't do as many podcasts as me. I mean, I do one every week, except when I got my tooth out because again, I needed to recover. I needed to rest. Tennessee, that's where you're from, Josh. Yeah, because that's close to California. I'm far, far away. I'm over 3,000 miles away from California, but you're much closer than me. That's a good line. I overthink because of what people would say. I know. I'm fine. It can be hard sometimes. I know, Josh, but I just find a movie and go for it. I ain't got nothing to lose. After I lost my tooth, I lost a lot of blood, and I lost a lot of opportunities to do podcasts that weekend. But again, I had to recover. I couldn't bleed from the mouth while doing this podcast. It could get copyrighted. It could get flagged because you can't show blood. You can't show any blood on YouTube. You can't. Why do you think the scenes in The Boys, most of them you can't show on YouTube because they're very violent, and they have to censor it because YouTube is so afraid for the advertisers don't want to see graphic violence, but yet you can see an R-rated movie on YouTube, and it's not censored. Yet you can't show a clip of Homelander obliterating the guy's head. I saw the clip. It's extremely violent. Jeez, I was like, damn, they got away with that on Amazon Prime. Plus, I want to see Gen 5 first. I think it's a prequel to The Boys, and it's shorter, and it's not as violent as the original Boys. It's got less of a foreign cast too, because it's got a black lead, and I think she's gorgeous, Josh. I know, no matter what you think of her personally, Jazz Sinclair is absolutely stunning. I thought that ever since I saw her in When the Bow Breaks, because I'm like, that frizzy hair and that light skin. Ugh, she's so yummy. Uh-oh. And there were a lot of fires in the past couple of years. Gen 5 is a spinoff, but is it a prequel? Does it take place before or after The Boys? I grew up next to it because I felt about her Slender Man. I didn't see Slender Man. I heard it was horrible. Jazz took some getting used to, but no, I just I saw her in When the Bob Breaks. I'm like, yeah, I wanted to make her pregnant too. I'm dead serious. I did, just like when I first saw Lucy Hale in Pretty Little Liars. I'm like, you're a gorgeous girl. How do how is it that she doesn't have like 3 kids? Those gorgeous eyes of hers and that beautiful face and that feminine voice. And she was drinking. She shouldn't. Don't drink. It'll ruin your life. It ruined my grandpa's life. He was an alcoholic from youth all the way to his old age. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I don't want to start, because it doesn't do anything for my body. Vanilla extract that has booze in it hurts my stomach. That's why I don't put it in any more smoothies, because I'm like, no, it's got to be organic. No alcohol required. I want to keep my brain. I'm not going to get no brain damage from alcohol abuse. I know what it does to you. I'm straight edge, just like CM Punk. I would never touch booze after what it did to me over the years, even when it's unintentional. Because I've had ice cream with booze in it. I'm like, why does this have brandy or not brandy? It was bourbon. I don't want bourbon in my ice cream or in my drinks. Oh, this is the strip scene, yeah. Again, you didn't see this in the Barbie movie. 78 minutes, yeah. I could see the spinoff first. I saw Adam Eve before I saw the first season of Invincible, so because it's a prequel. It's about her when she's a kid and then she grows up. Yeah, people get offended by everything now. I have the Pretty Liars DVD set. I just wish that she'd get a Jenny Ortega-like film. Yeah, that's not Truth or Dare, because Jenny Ortega just blew up in horror. She did some bad films too, but that's not her fault. She's young. She has plenty of time in her career to make a mistake or two. Just don't drink and don't do drugs. It will ruin your life and your face. This dance is sexy. Yeah, people can't take a joke anymore. They can't see the female body. They're like appalled by it. I'm like, why? You know, even during the pandemic, People still go to strip clubs and nightclubs. I don't, because I don't want to waste my time. Estrogen power is activated. He's like, nothing phases him. Oh, I see them. Damn. I can see her rib cage too. Again, if you got it, flaunt it. Especially in an R-rated movie, anything goes. What do you got to hide? Nothing. I've seen the human body, and when it's not jacked up, it looks great. With Lucy, she should be in a Marvel movie. Yeah, I would love that. And stay away from the booze. Don't make her an alcoholic character. I'm not appalled by the feeling, but I'm not. I don't know why people are like, how dare they show a movie like Honora in the theater? Because some people want to see artsy fartsy movies with nudity in it. Because streaming is not, sometimes just doesn't get the job done for them. Yeah, that is the guy from Batman Returns. I'm glad he's still alive, because look what happened to Chris Farley. He got into drugs and it ruined his life. John Belushi and these other actors. It ruins their life. Even a lot of wrestlers got into drugs and alcohol. 81 81 minutes in. I don't consider this movie campy. Yeah, it's 80s as hell, it is. But it knows what it is. It doesn't try to be some like deep emotional story like Driving Miss Daisy or something. No, it knows what it is. Hey, look, it's a Target employee. Yeah, take that. I didn't complain about Maggie Madison, of course not. No one is. Even the critics are like, her body's astounding. Yeah, I agree. A shy girl like her doing that, well, she's not shy anymore. Once you've done that, yeah, there's no turning back. Yep, that was a good snap, Mayor. Yep, here we go. Swayze can take no more. That's all he can stand, and he can stand no more. And there's more action in this movie than in the Reindeer Games, because that's more of a crime thriller than an action movie. But it works. The action scene at the end is pretty cool. He does look like Paul Freeman a lot. It's like he's his clone or something. Yeah, he says a line in this movie I'm not going to repeat here because, again, I've never been in prison, so I'm not going to repeat it. Hey, look, it's Doug Dividome from Fairly Odd Parents. Ah, say, ah, say. Yeah, this movie's very southern, by the way. I don't know what state this takes place in. Is it Tennessee or is it Texas? Or it doesn't say. And I don't think this is on Disney Plus. This is actually no, it's a Metro Golden movie, so that's not on Disney Plus. They have their own streaming service, MGM Plus, because 20th Century Fox distributed the movie, but MGM made the film when they were still a thing. They still do the James Bond movies, I believe. Yeah. Oh, good. A scene that's not in the bar. Let me see the license plate. It's red, so maybe it's from Texas. I don't know. And this villain is pretty awesome. He has enough screen time when there's the monster truck. Yeah, they have to use it in the film. They do use it. Wow. That was an awesome stunt, by the way. Yeah, of course, you're going to have a monster truck in the movie. You better use it to crush some cars because that's what people want to see. All that property damage, man. Once you've done roles like that or something like a hero or a killer, I mean, you can't go back. No. Yeah, they do Bond, but they're gonna cast a new Bond soon. Yeah. Those cars got totaled. It's like a Comic-Con. I'm not gonna I wasn't gonna go meet Denise Richards and say, "Hey, you have nice tits." No, I'm not gonna say something like that because then I'll get slapped. I'd rather be adored than slapped. I'm not disrespectful to women at Comic Con. I'm never like that. I'm not a hands-on guy. If they give me permission, I'll stroke their hair first. Because remember in Bumblebee when he's petting Haley Steinfeld's hair? I'm like, yeah, he got the right idea. I love doing that. It's actually fixing her hair, but it's like he's petting her. I love that. This movie is a little bit long. I think the middle of the film could have been trimmed a little bit, or in the beginning of the film could have been a little shorter. Like Keith David is basically a cameo in this movie. He's not a main character. It's mostly just Swayze, Kelly Lynch, Sam Elliott, and a couple of other side characters. Much like Miles in my fan cast short video, take your time with Bond. If I went to Comic Con with people, I would enjoy it. I do like probably petting her hair. Yeah, it's not gratuitous. It's adorable. He's petting her like a pet, like a dog, and I'm like, yeah. And her hair's nice. It's short. She chopped it off so she could look more tomboyish. But Haley Steinfeld has beautiful hair. Yeah, I miss Swayze a lot, man. He should have been in a Marvel or DC movie back in like the '90s or the 2000s, but he died. You know, cancer took him away from us. Because Sam Elliott did two Marvel movies, but they kind of wasted him. He was in Ghost Rider and the Hulk, the 2003 Hulk, which is so boring. Oh my god. If that movie was shorter and had more action, it would have been way more bearable. But there's a shorter version. It's called The Incredible Hulk. Yeah, even in Thor Ragnarok, Hulk is cool in that movie. He's not a distraction. I'm gonna do this one for February. Get this out of here. And this movie it doesn't get overly long like the Fast and the Furious sequels. Those just got way too long. After Tokyo Drift, which is a prequel, every movie in the franchise was like over 2 hours long. I'm like, why? You don't need to be over 2 hours. You're a racing movie for crying out loud. Fast Five, I get why it was long, but there's at least five characters you could have cut out of Fast Five, and six, and seven, and eight, and 9 and 10 and even Hobbs and Shaw. You could make the movie shorter. It's just they think people want to sit. We're 90 minutes in, so we're almost done. We got about 20 minutes left. Whoa, that I didn't see coming. That explosion, that came out of nowhere. This is the scene, yeah. They called it a homoerotic scene, but at least your stream of this went better. Yeah, because again, my Wi-Fi is not bad on this phone. Sometimes it crashes too. That's why I couldn't do my Gamma Guardian of the Universe the first time. It's not that I didn't want to. It's just the Wi-Fi wasn't working. The weather was horrible. Last week we had like 20 or 30-mile-per-hour winds. So it was so bad. The last 2 days have been more bearable. It snowed yesterday, but barely. It's January. It's supposed to be snowing a lot, and it hasn't. It snowed on Christmas Eve and after my, before my birthday, but for some reason it just doesn't want to snow heavy up here in the Northeast. He almost killed Santa Claus. Oh, you're going to pay for this, guy. Don't laugh. You're going to pay for this. Yep, run, man. The running man. Yep, gotcha. Here it comes. Prepare to die. Yeah, that's the clip. I remember that. With Screen Junkies. I had to cancel some streams myself like Clueless. No, I did that one already. I did Clueless, Mean Girls, and I did a bunch of other films of girls. I did Sorority Wars, even though the disc was scratched. But they have the movie on YouTube, so. A vicious fight. And it's hand to hand. It's really them doing this. And some stunt doubles. I haven't done Clueless. I did do Clueless, I think last year. Or the year before. Because I'm not doing the Barbie movie. It's on Netflix, but yeah, no thanks. I can wait. Even though this movie had some scenes that could have been cut, I'll say it's a little shorter than the remake. Yeah, the remake is like, what, over 2 hours? And it doesn't need to be that long. Audiences have grown to see things in less time. That's why TikTok was so popular the last couple years. That's why YouTube videos are popular, because they're shorter. They're not 4 hours long. Yeah, I'm not going to repeat that line because I don't want this video to get flagged. It's an hour and 30 minutes into the movie, and he says a line like that. I don't even think they say that line in the remake. Why? Because they don't have the nuts to do it, to say a line like that. Mm-hmm. See, you can see the fight scene. They don't cut away. The editing is top notch in this movie compared to some of the editing in some recent action movies where they do a quick cut every 2 seconds. Yeah, the Michael Kamen, that sounded like Die Hard. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it sounded like the first Die Hard movie. This is a year after Die Hard. Nope, you missed. Yep, he just does a Mortal Kombat throat rip. Mm-hmm. Fatality. No, he's dead. He's not going to come back from that. He literally ripped his throat out like Rambo did in Rambo 4. It's not called Rambo 4, but he does that. You did Clueless in 2023. I was supposed to do Clueless after I did Short Term 12. I did that one too. I commit to these podcasts. As long as I have electricity and a working Wi-Fi, I will do it. Because earlier last year, I couldn't do a podcast on my phone because, again, the phone, I didn't have 50 subscribers. Yeah, here it comes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He got banged up too. See, he's not a superhero. He's a guy that gets banged up pretty badly in this movie. Yep, he's floating in the water. That's what happens to a body after it's deceased. I gotta eat something after this because I'm starving. Last night I had to eat a banana to get to sleep more. I do try to commit, but I overthink with the movies I have. Yeah, I try to do movies under 2 hours. This is under 2 hours, but barely. We're 96 minutes in. This movie should have been over, but no, there's a little bit more padding before we get to him fighting Wesley at the end. I don't have restriction with Elaine. No, it's not restriction. It's just that I don't want to do a movie that's 3 hours because it's going to take forever. I would have to do it in 2 parts. Yep, so he's Two-Face now. Damn, he's messed up too. Yeah, Keith David, I don't know why they paid him to be in 1 minute of the movie. It's a cameo because he doesn't do anything in the film. And this is before diversity hires were in everything. Now it's the norm. Every movie has to have somebody of color, whether they be black, Asian, or Middle Eastern, or Hispanic or something. You said to me about not being restrained. I'm not restrained. And I haven't got a copyright infringement in over a year, so I'm doing just fine. My channel, all my live streams haven't gotten flagged or copyright infringement or anything. I did get some low views, but again, that's part of the territory when you're on YouTube as long as I've been. But at least I'm still getting views because I didn't do anything stupid. Against the grain like I was before the pandemic, yeah. I first did a podcast on my own in 2019. Mm-hmm. See if I can lie down for the last few minutes of the movie. It's a good movie. Oh yeah, I can lie down now. Oh, my back was hurting again because yesterday I did a podcast that was an hour and 40 something minutes. Wait, I did Gamera, which no, it was 91 minutes. So that movie was already over by this time. But with this movie, I don't do anything stupid. No, I don't, because I don't do stupid stunts like some people were like eating Tide Pods and doing the ice bucket challenge and hurting themselves. Yeah, that's not. I'm not the guys from Jackass. I don't need to do that. Yep, he's dead. It was Tails. Ah. Yeah, that's the only time he cries in the movie. That's much better. Swayze could act. He really could. Now it's personal. 100 minutes into the movie, the blood is on his hands. Now he's gonna take care of this guy and make him wish that he was never born. Yep. Now it's personal. It's like the ending of Commando with Arnold. They take his daughter on the island, and he's like, he just goes crazy. He kills everybody in sight. That was a really awesome stunt. See, no digital compositing at all in this movie. It's all done practically. The remake probably has CGI blood, which I'm sick and tired of. That only works in an animated project. CGI blood does not work in a live action movie. It looks ridiculous. It looks fake. Even Deadpool and Wolverine had a lot of gore in it. I mean, remember the scene with the nice Deadpool where he's like, I can't heal, and then his body, his head gets obliterated. I was like, damn, that was a lot. That's a death you're never gonna see in the MCU again, unless it's R rated. And the last action scene is in the daytime, unlike Die Hard and Die Hard 2. Well, the only Die Hard movie where the action scene is in the daytime is Live Free or Die Hard. Because the first three movies, the last battle is at night. The first one at the Nakatomi Plaza, the second one at the airport, it was snowing and it was nighttime, and then the third one was in Canada, where he shoots the helicopter out of the sky. He shoots the wire, and it electrocutes him. Men and women like to cry in films. I do, a lot. Three to success, you could do more R-rated characters. Yeah, and not hold back. It's time to pay the piper. This is really enjoyable. I'm glad I watched this movie again. It's been years. Mm-hmm. That was an awesome one-liner. They don't make movies like this anymore because they make them too digital, and they got people that can't act, like that Conor McGregor guy. I'm like, you're not an actor. You fight. You're an MMA fighter. Fight and keep your mouth shut. Jeez, people like to talk a lot of crap and not back it up with their fists or their legs in the ring. Just fight. That's what you do. You're not an actor. I don't need to see you in the MCU unless you're going to fight to be a henchman and fight. MMA fighters are usually not actors. Look at Ronda Rousey. She just had a baby. Good for her. Stay at home and be a mom. Don't you dare act again. You're not an actress. Gina Carano tried, but then Disney had to fire her. Thanks for that, Disney. You fired one of the best female characters in Mandalorian because you're stupid. Because Kathleen Kennedy doesn't like tough chicks. She likes Mary Sue characters that are not interesting. Polar bear. Hey, look, it's Garcia from Red One. It's not a real bear. It's stuffed. Gina did that to herself. I know, gosh, but still, they shouldn't have fired her. I miss you, Patrick. You were such a gem. I'll eventually do Point Break, but when I can stream it on Tubi or something. Mm-hmm. If she didn't want to be fired, she should have chose her words carefully. I do. I don't go on Twitter and throw hissy fits. Hell, I'm never mean on Twitter. I don't like to be mean on Twitter. That's not. I'm not gonna call it X. Elon Musk could suck it. It's not X. It's Twitter. It's not a porn site. You sick bastard. Look, a bison or an ox, a walrus, Josh, a walrus. He has animal heads on in his house, and I wouldn't want that because it could squish me. I like petting an animal when it's alive, not when it's stuffed. You missed. This villain has crazy eyes, just like Bennett from Commando. It reminds me of Commando, except this movie's way longer. Commando's about a slim 90 minutes or so. It's not an hour and 54 minutes. That's a little bit too long. This movie is a bit long, just like Coming to America's too long for a comedy. It should have been 90 minutes, 99 minutes maybe, not an hour and 50. I think it just drags in the middle. Again, Michael Kamen's score. This sounds like Die Hard. It doesn't sound like Roadhouse. It's like dun, dun, dun. I'm like, that sounds like Die Hard. It's weird because it came out a year after Die Hard. This is a different lead. Patrick Swayze sounds nothing like Bruce Willis. Of course, Die Hard's a better movie because it's one of the most hailed action movies of all time. I'm gonna go Mortal Kombat on you. The reshoots don't bother me because Lord of the Rings got reshot and it's amazing. The original films are not that animated movie that came out last year. They're like, oh, that redhead that should have been Karen Gillian, not some unknown actress we don't care about playing a girl boss. Yeah, that was gonna fail, guys. It was gonna fail in execution. Mm-hmm. They got him. Blood squibs. Remember those? I miss those. CGI blood just doesn't make the cut for me. Mm-hmm. They're gunning him down. Oh, I won't. Goodbye, Wesley. Right through the glass table. Reshoots can go either way. Karen playing a redheaded anime character should would have been backlash. No, she wouldn't have been because we already like her. That actress that played the redheaded chick in War of the Rahim or whatever it's called, Rahim. It was nobody cares. We don't know you. We have to get to know you first before you can do a big franchise. Yep, got what he deserved. Tigger. So those monkeys. It's just Karen is Scottish again, Josh. That's not that lady is a redhead. Is in that Lord of the Rings animated movie is British. So what's the difference? And here comes the ending of the movie. So this is fun. Yep, here he goes. He gets a happy ending at least in this movie. It was a little bit long, yeah. I think 5 or 10 minutes could have been trimmed from this movie just to make it a tight an hour and 30, an hour and 40 minutes. There it is. That's the end of Roadhouse. Rest in peace, Patrick Swayze. We miss you, man. This movie did not need to be remade because it's perfect the way it is. It's a little long, like an hour and 50 minutes. Yeah, it's 4 minutes of end credits. I don't want to put you guys through that because there's no Marvel stinger here. But thanks for watching, guys. Acknowledge me, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. I'll do another podcast of a much shorter movie. And yeah, this has been fun so far in January. I've done more podcasts, and I'm not as much pain as I was in December. And the year so far has been fair. Not perfect, but fair. And it could have been a lot worse so far. But thanks for watching, and I won't forget you guys. See you next time.